Hello, this is the PS4, and I'm going to be playing arcade game series Mrs. Pac-Man. I'm recording in this vertical 3:4 resolution to fit the old arcade rotated CRT screen of Mrs. Pac-Man. So this will all look a little weird until we get to the actual game. There we go. You can still see a bit of the PS4 games overlaid menu at the bottom there. So all you do is this. This version plays pretty well. It doesn't have some of the control issues that older ports had, where because of how the inputs work, you could end up going a weird way if you were holding the stick one way and then I forget what exactly it is, but basically the arcade games work by just taking the latest input, and what was it? It could get weird somehow. Because of diagonals, because the arcade games are only 4 directions, and the sticks now are 8, so it was like I think it was the Namco Museum PS3 version and some other older versions, because they could read diagonals. That was crummy. They would register a different direction, and then if you hit a orthogonal direction that the game would read, it would kick in a weird direction that you didn't expect. It was like when you tried to straighten back out, the game might not read that you'd straighten back out because it didn't read it as a new input, and something like that. And I am having trouble taking corners anyway. So there is a Steam version of this game. I was thinking maybe I could get the Steam version and just play with the keyboard, the 4 keyboard keys, and then you wouldn't really have to worry about diagonal inputs so much. Right now I'm playing on my Hori Real Arcade Pro arcade stick, which of course is an 8-way stick with a Sanwa JLF, which is a little kind of a long throw stick for a game like this. I probably would do better with that was terrible. With playing on keyboard or something, but I don't know. I guess I could try the Steam version. It's pretty cheap. I suppose potentially also, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm not even paying attention. It might not have the blurriness that this version has. Like, it's not very blurry, but there's just a slight blur at all times on the game graphics. I think it just has to do with the fact that they're always being scaled, and there's no way to turn off the scaling, and they didn't make the scaling sort of fit specifically to pixels. They're just doing sort of soft scaling. Yeah, the scaling is irritating. You can't scale perfectly to the edges of the screen. You can't scale by fixed intervals at all. It just scales by however long or however short a time you can manage to push the button on the controller. So you can't get specific sizes. I tried to scale this as close as I could to the screen border of the 3:4 screen, but there's still I couldn't quite get it. There's some wasted pixels at the sides. It's irritating. I'm gonna try to pay a little more attention. I haven't played this game for 5 years. That's a long time. I played the Namco Museum PS1 version 4 years ago. That version is completely redrawn though, and looks a lot different. Plays maybe a little different on corners and stuff, or maybe it just looks different. Like Miss Pac-Man really looks like she's kind of kicking around corners. I got lucky. I'd stopped playing because I developed some photosensitivity from having bad lighting in my little apartment and not getting enough sleep. And the blinking dots at the four corners of the screens would kind of start to annoy me. I suppose that blinking at the maze there at the end would have too. But it doesn't seem so bad now. It still seems a little annoying in regular Pac-Man because the maze isn't so bright in regular Pac-Man. It's the maze walls are hollow, you know, just hollow black with a dark blue border. Shoot, am I gonna be able to get that orange? Uh-oh, nope. But yeah, I can play Miss Pac-Man again, so that's cool. I mean, I'm terrible at it, apparently. I think my highest score on any version is maybe like 64,000, maybe, something? And you can see here I got 52,000. I think that was just the other day when I was messing around. I'm not doing so hot here. Back in the day, I guess there was a PS3 version. I built like a custom PS3 controller, or tried to cobble together something from like a leaf switch, lever, and a PS3 arcade stick body, and jeez. And it didn't quite, it was too clacky. It was very clacky. And also, well, it was a four direction stick though. So that part worked. I suppose with the Sanwa JLF you can rotate the gate restrictor to be a four-way. You can still hit those diagonals if you really try. But it's a lot harder, so I could do that, but that would involve having to open my arcade stick. And I think, let's see, you have to get to the bottom of the JLF, so I have to unscrew the JLF. I don't know. Anyway, that's a pain. I would really want to buy myself a second arcade stick for the PS4 to have one with a rotated gate, but that's expensive, so I'm not going to do that. Also, how much room do I have in my tiny apartment for arcade sticks? So yeah, probably I should just play on keyboard on the Steam version if I really don't want to have diagonal input issues. I don't think that was a diagonal. I think I'm just missing orthogonals. Well, I'm up to 23,000. This, though, and the Steam one, is arcade, what is it, Arcade Game Series, Mrs. Pac-Man or whatever, probably going to be the last port of Miss Pac-Man that we get from Namco. I mean, they're apparently trying to write Mrs. Pac-Man out of existence. The most recent ports, I think it is of Pac-Land, which I think the original arcade version had Mrs. Pac-Man in it as a supporting character. Who would like show up in little scenes, maybe at the beginning or with Baby Pac-Man or something. Whatever, Pac-Baby, I don't know. Or just with Miss, I don't know. But anyway, apparently Miss Pac-Man was in it, but the most recent ports of Pac-Land have taken Mrs. Pac-Man out, replacing her with some different female-looking Pac character who I don't think is officially called this, but I think people have just taken to calling her Pac-Mom. So Pac-Mom is replacing Mrs. Pac-Man. And that, of course, would probably be because Namco doesn't actually own the rights to Mrs. Pac-Man. Every time they would have Miss Pac-Man in a game or do a port of a Miss Pac-Man game, they had to pay royalties or something to the hackers, who were originally MIT students, who developed the add-on kit for Pac-Man that that was Mrs. Pac-Man in the arcades back in the day. They figured out how to modify the original Pac-Man arcade board to do different stuff, to make new stages, to have the ghosts move randomly, I guess. I don't know, maybe that was just a side bonus. To have the fruits move around, all the changes from Pac-Man, they just hacked in there. And they put a bow on the Pac character, which is all pretty impressive if you think about it. And so they somehow managed to have ownership of the character. I mean, Midway had helped, I guess, because Midway stepped in and licensed the game in the States without Namco knowing much about it, I think. And Namco sort of learned about it afterwards, but Miss Pac-Man was already a big hit or something, or becoming a big hit. So, and they didn't just deep six the thing, so they lived with it. But I guess once those big arcade dollars stopped rolling in and they had to, I don't know, anyway, eventually the bean counters got upset about having to pay royalties, I suppose. Ah, shoot, the orange went the wrong way. I mean, I don't know which way it goes. Oh, okay, so I think they don't come up here. Oh, heck, I went the wrong way. Oh, I'm gonna die. I could have stayed there and the orange would have come to me. Oh, I was gonna say the power pellets in the PS1 version blink. I think it was they blink every 8 frames, whereas the power pellets in this version blink every 10 frames. So the blinking power pellets in the PS1 version, I went back and looked at it, and those were kind of irritating me. But the pellets in this version just blink, what is that, like 20% slower? And that didn't bother me as much. That's probably not actually, I don't know. Anyway, something like that. Oh, shoot. Yeah. I could have... pretzel. I wanted the pretzel too bad. Man, if you make the mistake of watching people who are really good play this game and get, like, the world record on YouTube, they can play for, like, 5 hours, of course, and... I mean, that would suck. I don't want to be stuck playing for 5 hours, I guess. Actually, I'm not sure if this version can do save states. Let me see here. Oh yeah, you can save and quit. That's the third option down. Well, I didn't get the pretzel. I wonder how much that pretzel's worth. Well, it's not worth as much as whatever is on the next screen. That's good. Oh, I'm moving so much faster now. Oh man, it's on turbo. Just give me the pellets. Give me all the pellets. Uh-oh, we're back to apples? Or up to apples, I guess. Okay, I can get this apple. I got you, baby. 1,000. A cool grande. Oh, they go right into... Of course, eventually power pellets just end up doing nothing. Uh-oh, hang on a second. Gonna pause. Well, I totally forget what I was talking about. Which way am I going? It didn't show me, did it? I got a ghost. Oh, maybe I was saying that eventually the power pellets stop doing anything if you can get that far. Which I assuredly cannot. I think they make the ghosts reverse direction, maybe. But that's about all you get. I missed a corner. He did follow me up there. Oh, man. Well, so much for that stupid idea. I didn't reverse direction correctly. I still having my own control problems. I made it to Act 2, though. Now we get to the red dots, and this is where it gets, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever made it past the red dots. I think this is the last stage, and then it goes back to the first stage. I mean, not the last stage of the game. Wait, is there a kill screen in Miss Pac-Man? Like 256. Oh, God. I forgot how fast they are now. How the heck did I ever get 52,000? Gotta get my eggplant or whatever that is. That's worth 2,000. I was thinking, what is it, like a watermelon? I don't remember what it is, but it's whatever that is. I should go get that other guy. Because, of course, if you get all all four ghosts, the fourth one is worth 1,600. Ah, God. Okay, that kind of worked. If you really know what you're doing, though, which I don't. Was that it? 37,000? No, that's all I'm getting right now. Of course, if you really know what you're doing, then you know how all the AI works, and you can just find, the dead spots in the maze where they don't chase you, and you can just get them all moving on top of each other by manipulating, by taking advantage of their own little AIs. Each one moves slightly differently based on where you are, and so forth, and you just get them all just running laps on top of each other, and then it's pretty easy to move around without them catching you and all that kind of thing. Well, this can't be easy because it gets so fast, but you're that good. You can just play just about forever. Maybe there is I think that, let's see. Miss Pac-Man, maybe Wikipedia will tell me about that. Gameplay, Oh, well, the ghosts do move semi-randomly. Like, they will change direction randomly every now and then, so you can't just memorize it like you could with Pac-Man, of course. So you still have to watch out for that all the time. That's kind of what I think I like about Miss Pac-Man, is that it is somewhat random, so you just have to be on your toes. There's another... Maybe it was Baby Pac-Man. Or Pac-Man Jr., was that what it was called? Pac-Man Jr., I think, was also made by... No, that's not the... That's the character. Oh, no, what? Junior Pac-Man. Yeah, that was made by the same MIT hackers, General Computer Corp. And I think that one has semi-random movement too, and it's got... You don't have... It's a wide maze, so it's twice as wide as the display, so it scrolls left and right. It's still a vertical display, but it scrolls left and right, and so it's this huge maze. And there's like 7 power pellets in it, and 7 different mazes that you go through. It looks kind of cool, but I don't think there's any port of that. Of Junior Pac. Well, not recently, so there's Atari 2600. Atari 400, 800, XL, XE, Atari 5200, Commodore 64, IBM PC, but that version is terrible. It's just horrible looking. It's like CGA or EGA. Well, I guess there's both of those. But yeah, it doesn't look good. I would kind of like to play Junior Pac-Man. But that one, in fact, Namco has succeeded in making everybody completely forget that game exists at all. I think people still remember Mrs. Pac-Man, but now they're trying to replace our memories of Miss Pac-Man with Pac-Mom, and they're never going to release another Mrs. Pac-Man in any Pac compilations or anything. At least not for a while. According to both the U.S. Copyright Office and legal papers from the Namco Games lawsuit, Junior Pac-Man was initially developed under the title of Pac-Baby. The name and character were presumably changed to avoid confusion with the already released Baby Pac-Man. Baby Pac-Man's an arcade game. Oh, that was a pinball hybrid. That was also a Western one, Bally Midway. Anyway, back to Mrs. Pac-Man. Mrs. Pac-Man is going to tell me if there's a kill screen. There's an Atari Lynx version. Huh, with differences. Okay, so if I go to YouTube, and if I search for Miss Pac-Man World Record, I just set the world record with 37,000. No, I didn't. Okay, Miss Pac-Man high score and kill screen on a video that is 4 hours and 42 minutes long. There's a video that is 5 hours and 54 minutes long. Kill screen game where they get 867 points. Oh, that's from Prove All, the YouTube user Prove All. I looked at that one, and I mean, it's 5 hours and 54 seconds because, or no, 5 hours, 54 minutes, 41 seconds because they spend a lot of time just with Mrs. Pac-Man just sitting in a corner where the ghosts don't go and just watching the ghosts cycle around and then maybe flicking to the side once in a while to sort of manipulate them into moving where the player wanted them to go so that they eventually, get so they're all basically overlapping each other and then it's easy to move around because you've effectively merged them into one ghost for a while. Looks like maybe at least 7 years ago, the MAME world record was 945,260. That was a 4 hour, 49 minute video here on YouTube. That was turbo speed record. Well, I've got a little ways to go before I have to worry about kill screens. So that was me just doing a little Miss Pac-Man. I would like to just play a little Miss Pac-Man from time to time and gradually stop screwing up so bad. There's some other vertical games that I want to be playing as well now that I have my little vertical setup here for recording. There's Burger Time, which I just bought and have not played, and then Dig Dug, which I used to play the Namco Museum version of that, and then I kind of got depressed by it because it's hard and it's like I would just inevitably die. Of course, that's how I feel about the sort of sequel to Dig Dug, Mr. Driller, sitting next to it there. I get more depressed about Mr. Driller, I think, because there you're actually suffocating. Dig Dug's kind of ridiculous if you watch, like, world record plays of that, because that goes forever, and you get so you just pump a ghost, like, once, and it'll inflate a bit, and then you can run through it, so you just end up just semi-inflating all the, what did I say, ghost? All the pukas and figars, or whatever they are, until they're all lined up under a rock, and then you crush them all with the same rock, and you get a huge huge point score. That's just how you play that game, apparently. I'm terrible at Dig Dug, but I want to play that one a little more. What was there? Is there another one? Do I have one on PS3? No, maybe that's it for now. It's Pac-Man, Burger Time, and Dig Dug. My vertical old games I want to play a bit. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll probably do Burger Time. Well, I'll do Burger Time when I have maybe a little more time to get into it, because I don't know Burger Time at all. There is no Arcade Archives version of Mrs. Pac-Man, unfortunately. That one would be not blurry like this Namco business, but there is an Arcade Archives Pac-Man. But yeah, no Miss Pac-Man. Namco ain't having no Miss Pac-Man anymore. No Miss Pac-Man for us. So just have to keep playing this old port. I mean, they haven't delisted the old port. I guess they figure that would just bring them, that would publicize Miss Pac-Man in effect, so they're just gonna let everybody forget about it. And maybe someday I'll try the Steam version, but I don't know. I don't really want to play on a keyboard. I'd probably work better, but I don't want to do it. I don't really want to have a second joystick sitting around for a rotated gate for Miss Pac-Man either, though, so I'll just suffer with the slight cornering imprecision. Whatever, it's not like I'm good enough for it to make a huge difference. Thanks for watching. Miss Pac-Man rules. And that's it for now, though. See ya.